Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adam Perry. Thank you for joining me wherever you are around the globe. And today we've got a wonderful matchup here in the 4A division. Seton Catholic Sentinels taking on the Eastmark Firebirds here at the Sentinels' home. And Seton Catholic coming off a string of 2 tough losses, both away games. They have a chance to rectify here at home against a team in Eastmark who has never lost away so far this season. So competitive matchup here. Last time we saw the Sentinels here at home, they put on a barn burner performance against ALA Queen Creek. They then went on to unfortunately lose a tough rivalry game over at Mesquite, 3-2. And then they lost away at Paradise Honors, 3-1. So the ladies with a big opportunity to get back on the right track here and take down a very good Eastmark Firebird squad who is coming into this contest with a record of 7 wins and 5 losses. Once again, I'm Adam Perry. Thank you for joining me today on this broadcast. We'll take a quick break. We will go to the national anthem as well as the prayer, and then we get to see these ladies in action. So here we go, both teams forming a huddle now. Getting ready for action. Line judges have taken their place, as well as the net referees. Good luck, coach. Two competitive squads facing off here today. The starters for Seton Catholic. Outside hitter, Thea Fisher. Middle, Elizabeth Steinkamp. Opposite, Sophia Shalapour. And in the back row, we have Michaela Bell, Rylan Keene, and the libero, number 6, Emily Yaley. On the other side, for the Firebirds, waiting to give service is number 3, Isabella Jackson. And here we go, we're underway. And an ace. First point of the game is in favor of the Firebirds. Jackson for service. Keene to Shalapour. And up to Thea Fisher for the kill. Wonderfully done right there. We heard a tick-tick boom from the crowd. The crowd, not the usual size that we see from Seton Catholic, but nevertheless, they're showing spirit and heart. Service is good. Return from Eastmark. Yaley to Bell. Eastmark returns. And it's out. So 2-1 now for the Sentinels. Shalapour back to serve. Wonderful serve from Shalapour. And some missed timing from the outside hitter, Brooke Harwood of Eastmark, will send that ball flying out of bounds. Point to Seton. Shalapour on service. And Brooke Harwood gets another chance. This time makes it count. Eastmark's ball now. Seton leads 3-2. Service is good. Return to Steinkamp to Shalapour over. And Addison Stanley for the Firebirds pokes that one over for the kill. Service from number 2, Yaley to Fia to Michaela. Harwood. Michaela Bell with a nice tap over. Shalapour, Yaley to Steinkamp. And saved. And that ball will just barely drop out in favor of Seton. A great volley right there. And that'll lead Steinkamp to serve. 4-3 Seton. Steinkamp, returned by Pastor. Steinkamp mishit there. Will return the ball back to the Firebirds now. And quick pace so far in this one. We're all knotted at 4. Back to serve is McKenna Jackson for the Firebirds. And a quick discussion here between the coach of the Firebirds, Daniel Arrington, and the opposite hitter, Harwood. Jackson on service. Returned by Yaley, and unfortunate bump there. Sends it out of bounds. And the ball is right back in McKenna Jackson's hands for service. Jackson, only a freshman, and Seton has a pretty good freshman or two on the squad as well. That serve could not be returned, and Eastmark is slightly pulling away here, 4-6 now. Jackson back to serve. Good hit returned by Steinkamp. Shalapour to Keene. Returned by Eastmark and kept alive by the Sentinels. We've got a great volley here. Michaela Bell pokes it over for the point. Wonderfully done by the Sentinel ladies, and hats off to Emily Yaley on the layout save right there. Keeps it up, gave her team a chance to return it, and they do. So they get the ball back. Thea Fisher for service. Jackson set up Harwood. Blocked. And the front line of the Sentinels held tough there, but after the block couldn't return it. That'll leave Harwood back to serve for the Firebirds. Harwood to Steinkamp. Set up by Shalapour. The attempted kill by Michaela Bell is no good. Blocked by number 11, Addison Stanley. So Harwood back to serve once again. Service. Yaley return. Right up next to the net, Shalapour to Keene, and they get it over. Yaley back to Keene, tap over. Harwood is there. Yaley to Shalapour, but can't keep it alive. And just like that, the Firebirds have somewhat of a lead, pulling away 9 to the Sentinels 5. Harwood still back to serve. Service returned by Steinkamp. Shalapour. Michaela Bell on the kill. Wonderfully done. Subs coming in. Michaela Bell and Shalapour are out. Enter Madeline Cochis and Sydney Stump. Back for service is Madeline Cochis, the serve specialist. Yaley to Cochis, to Keene. Wonderful kill. And the Sentinels are cutting down on that lead that Eastmark grabbed early. Now 7-9 ball game here. Cochis back to serve. Cochis. Past her. And over by Jackson. Yaley to Cochis. Tapped over by Keene. Kept alive by the Firebirds. And Addison Stanley off the setup gets a wonderful kill. And just like that, Eastmark has the ball back. And the lady who just picked up the kill, Addison Stanley, is back to serve. The serve is beautiful. Can't be returned by Yaley. Yaley to Cochis. To Stump. And a net violation on number 1-3. Brooke Harwood of the Firebirds will give Seton the ball back, and at a time where they needed it. Firebirds almost starting to pull away there, but wrangled in off the violation. Keene. Saved by Jackson. Beautifully hit by Keene off the spike. And A highly intelligent play there by Isabella Jackson to just poke that over. The front line of Seton was packed and ready for a spike, but she delivered a well-placed push and picked up the point, giving the ball back to the Firebirds. Back for service, number 8, Kayla Wheaton, returned by Yaley. Coaches, and Keene! Apologies, that's not Keene. That's Madeline Bell, the other standout freshman of Seton Catholic. (9-12), Eastmark in the lead. Yaley back for service. Well-placed serve. Returned by the Firebirds. Poked over by 11, and Yaley can't return the kill. Eastmark takes it back, now 9-13 in their favor. Back for service, Isabella Jackson. Returned by Louise Hall. Poked over by Sydney Stump. And Harwood goes for the kill, but the spike is just too far. She hits it out of bounds. And just like that, Seton has the ball back. 10-13. Seton really looking to close this gap and take the lead. Chalapour on the serve, returned by Pastor. Poked over by number 7, Yaley. Chalapour to Michaela Bell, and well done by the Sentinels. Hard fought point right there. Eastmark couldn't return. Here we go, Chalapour back for service once again. And blocked by Thea Fisher. Harwood attempted to go for the spike, but Thea was up and ready. Apologies. A violation of sorts. And Seton gets the ball back. And a whole lot of confusion on the court right now. Eastmark head coach Daniel Arrington is not exactly sure what was called and why it was called. Perhaps a substitution error. A lot of miscommunication and confusion going on. Now the opposite side. Net referee going to talk to the head. Either way, Seton is ecstatic right now. They just got the ball back. And they get another chance to close this gap. Still conversation going on about what could have taken place. Looks to me like substitution maybe. And it looks like things are just about sorted now. Now some score confusion going on. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish I could give you the scoop on what is going on, but I myself am not informed. And still confusion. We look to be close to resolution now. Here we go, Steinkamp back to serve. Seton ball. Hit over. Bell, Chalapour. Bell for the kill, it's returned. And a hard fought point, but Thea Fisher can't exactly keep it alive. Eastmark wins that point, and they get the ball back. Now they lead 12-15. Seton trailing by 3. Not the first time they've been down in this one by 3 points or more. Gailey, Shalapour, Keene, tap over. Pastor, Harwood. And blocked partially by Riley Keene and Fia Fisher, but that'll drop on Seton's side of the court. So Eastmark starting to pull away now. Jackson on service. Yaley. Shalapour. Bell tap over. No good. She keeps it alive. Shalapour to Keene. And they'll call pushover on that one. So the Firebirds keep the ball. And we'll go to a quick timeout here. James Johnson hoping to corral his ladies back into this one. The score, Seton 12 to Firebirds 17. And here we have the trusty Flamingo making his way back onto the court. He's in the student section. He's enjoying the game. And aren't we all? Good matchup here so far. Hopefully Seton can reel this one back in. Here we go, Sentinels taking the court. It's still McKenna Jackson back to serve. And no good on the serve. Who put that net there? Seton gets it back. Fia Fisher back to serve. Seton trailing 13-17 right here. Fisher could come up big. Returned by Jackson. Set up to Addison Stanley and cannot be returned by the Sentinel ladies. So Harwood now back to serve 13-18 in favor of Eastmark. Harwood, Steinkamp, Shalapour, and almost poked over by Madeline Bell, but the middle was ready for Eastmark. Harwood back to serve once again. Yaley returns. Poked over. Yaley to Bell. Returned by Jackson. Over by Stanley. And a net violation on Madeline Bell. Unfortunate to see. Steinkamp, only a sophomore, but providing direction out there, telling her ladies, hey, let's stay calm. We still got this. Nothing to stress about. Keene, Shalapour, Bell, way over. Coach James Johnson will call time now. This one's getting away from the Sentinel ladies just a little bit. Score, 13 Sentinels, 21 Eastmark Firebirds. Here we go. Harwood on the serve. Keene to Shalapur. Back to Keene. Spike is returned. Punched over by Wheaton. Yaley to Bell. And that'll do the trick. Seton gets the ball back here. Subs coming in. Coaches and Sydney Stump. Coaches on service. She's a specialist. Over to the outside. Well-placed ball by Wheaton once again. Cannot be returned by the Sentinels. 22-14. Eastmark lead here in this first set. Stanley. Service is no good. Out the back of the court. That'll put Riley Keene back for service. Keene. Well-placed ball. Tips off the net. And leaves McKenna Jackson outstretched with nothing. Keene for service. Well placed again. Leaves Stevens flustered. Back-to-back aces here for Keene. Keene for service. Jackson over. Returned hard by Sydney Stump. Eastmark somehow keeps it alive. Coaches to Steinkamp. Steinkamp with some power on that one. Great kill. And this time, it'll be Daniel Arrington calling timeout. Eastmark struggling to keep their lead here. Seton is clawing back into this one. Now 18-22. At one point, Seton was down by 9 points. Now only 4 away from equalizing. And I'll tell you what, every time I come out and see these ladies play, they make it interesting. They make it competitive. And you can tell they're competing their heart out. Here we go, Keene on the serve. Going for 3 in a row. Jackson. Over to Wheaton. And Wheaton pounded that one home for the kill. Giving Eastmark the ball back. Keene will sub out for Louise Hall. Back for service is Wheaton. Kayla Wheaton looks to put this set away for Eastmark. And a mishit there by the Sentinels will bring this to set point. Kayla Wheaton on service. Over to Hall. Over to Bell. And unfortunately, the Sentinels will drop this first set here. But it's okay. Volleyball is not a one-set game, not one single competition. It's multi-layered. We have 5 chances to win this contest. And Sentinels, at the least right now, will need 4 if they want to come away victorious from this one. I'm Adam Perry. Thank you once again for joining me wherever you are around the globe. I'm glad you chose to tune in to this great volleyball contest. We'll take a quick break in between sets. When we get back to this one, we'll see the Sentinel ladies look to equalize and pull away. And here we go, back to action in set 2. Some conferring going on between this line's referee and Michaela Bell. Shalapur back to serve to kick this one off. On the court with her is Riley Keene, Emily Gailey, Madeline Bell, Michaela Bell, Steinkamp, and Fia Fisher. Service is no good from Shalapur. And Eastmark will jump out to a 1-point lead here in the second set. Back for service, Olivia Pastor. Pastor, Keene, Shalapur, to Bell. Returned. Harwood, saved by Shalapur. Yaley to Bell. And Wheaton hits it out. That ball might have dropped out of play if she hadn't touched it, but nevertheless she does. And Seton gets the ball back. Steinkamp back for service. Wheaton, Harwood, blocked by the front but unable to be recovered for a Seton point. McKenna Jackson back for service now. Competitive set so far. Jackson to Yaley. Shalapur, Bell. Kept alive. But they can't quite get it over. Jackson and Pastor right there went back and forth on that one, trying to keep it alive for Eastmark, but couldn't do so. And just like that, Seton has the ball back. 2-2. Thea Fisher back for service. Pastor. Jackson, Harwood on the kill. Thea Fisher might have got a hand on it, but Steinkamp, not much she could do about that one. Subs in and out. Harwood back for service. And this one will be called in play. I don't know about that, but the line judge was a bit slow to raise the flag. Harwood back for service again. Keene to Yaley. Keene over. Jackson. Jackson. And the kill from Addison Stanley. Eastmark making some noise over in their student section. Harwood on service. Steinkamp. Shalapur. Keene on the kill. Wonderful job. Subs coming in and out. Michaela Bell out. Coaches in. Shalapur out. Sydney Stump in. Coaches. Service specialist. Over. And Isabella Jackson pulls a quick one yet again on the Sentinels. Just pokes it over. Eastmark pulling ahead a little bit here. They lead this set 6-3. Service returned by Keene. Coaches back to Keene. Returned by Jackson to Harwood. Harwood hits it out. Seton with the ball back now. Only trailing 2. The freshman Riley Keene back for service. Keene to Pastor to Jackson. And the kill from Wheaton. Four to 7. Eastmark pulling ahead a little bit here. Wheaton on service. Keene to Stump. Kill by Steinkamp. Steinkamp looking great so far here tonight. Picks up a clutch kill right there. And Seton still within 2. In now is Bratko, a knuckleball service specialist. You don't know where this thing is going. A miss hit there, no worries. Bratko will come out now. Bell in. Yaley coming in as well. Apologies, Yaley going in for Bell instead. Back for service, it's Isabella Jackson. Returned by Yaley. Fisher. Steinkamp over but blocked. Kept alive by Seton. Pastor. Harwood. Yaley keeps it up. Coaches. Apologies, not Coaches. That was Louise Hall with the clutch save. But unfortunately, Sentinels could not keep that one fair. It fell just outside of playable territory. Hall. The kill on Fisher is no good. Fisher hit the net on that one, so Eastmark will keep the ball. Isabella Jackson back to serve. Yaley can't return it. And Coach James Johnson will call timeout here. Hopefully regroup with the ladies and get them back on track. They started the set looking phenomenal, but Eastmark slowly pulled away thanks to the services of Isabella Jackson. Very hard to return. She is a service specialist as well. And the Sentinels will still have to find a way to deal with her. We'll be right back after this quick break, where the Sentinels look to recover. Down right now 5 to Eastmark 11. Here we go. Isabella Jackson still back to serve. Returned by Yaley. Poked over. Kept alive, but called dead. Net violation on Steinkamp. Isabella Jackson on service. Returned by Hall. And the kill by Sydney Stump. Coaches and Stump are out. Bell and Chalaport are in. Chalaport back to serve. Serve is good. Returned by Pastor. And great hit by Cameron Hunter looking for the kill, but hits it out of bounds. Seton with the ball back. Chalaport for service once again. Well hit. Pastor to Jackson to Harwood for the kill. Back for service is Pastor. Pastor cannot get it over. Louise Hall coming out. Riley Keene coming in. Rylan Keene, apologies. Steinkamp. Steinkamp, great serve. Eastmark went for a kill, returned by the Sentinels. Riley Keene hits it over. Jackson over, saved by Chalaport, up by Yaley and over by Keene. Wheaton saved by Seton once again. That's Chalaport on the layout, over by Yaley, but Yaley hits it just out of bounds. Great volley right there. But unfortunately, Eastmark gets the better of it. McKenna Jackson back for service. Jackson over. Yaley returns. Chalaport to Keene on the pushover. Isabella Jackson over to Harwood. Chalaport. Yaley. Bell. Stuffed. Over by Chalaport. Jackson to Jackson to Harwood and stuffed. Stuffed by Rylan Keene. Are you kidding me? Wow. She came up and met Harwood. Harwood, a powerful outside hitter coming in at 6'3" and just put it right back in her face. Seton, huge momentum shift right there. Fia Fisher on service. Jackson, Harwood. Kept alive by Bell. Fia Fisher. Rylan Keene. Jackson to Jackson. Over and out by Addison Stanley. Seton Catholic with some momentum right here. Wonderful volley. Via Fisher for service. No good. So Eastmark gets it back. It's Harwood looking for service. And out. Good call by Steinkamp to let that one go. Seton gets the ball back. Coaches in to serve. Madeline Coaches over. Jackson to Jackson. And the kill by Wheaton. Wheaton has emerged as the star player here tonight for Eastmark. Back for service is Addison Stanley. Yaley returns to Coaches. And a net violation against Eastmark. Sydney Stump went for a spike kill. It was returned, but Eastmark fell into the net in the process. Service by Keene. No good. Louise Hall in for Ryland Keene. Kayla Wheaton back for service. And too much power on that one. It'll go out the backcourt. Seton gets the ball back. 2 subs. Yaley is out, as well as Bell. In comes Bratko. Bratko, the service specialist, has a wicked knuckleball. She came out once already here tonight. Unfortunately, didn't hit the ball right. Gets it pretty good right there. Tap over by Eastmark. Bratko keeps it alive. Coaches to Steinkamp. Blocked. Kept alive by Seton. And a violation against Seton. Something that has been plaguing them all night. They trail 13 to Eastmark's 18. Pastor, apologies. It's Isabella Jackson on service right there. No good. Shalapour back to serve now. Shalapour over to Jackson. Isabella Jackson has been a problem on the court tonight. The Eastmark junior has been incredibly crafty. Service from Pastor. Shalapour over to Bell. And a wonderful block from Fia Fisher. Kept alive, and Bell rings the bell and gets a point for Seton on the kill. Louise Hall out. Ryland Keene comes in. 15-19. Eastmark still leading. Steinkamp on service. Well hit ball. Jackson to Addison Stanley looking for the kill, but it hits the pole, and that'll be Seton's point. 16-19 now. Seton pulling him in. Steinkamp on service. Well hit. Miscommunication in the back, and Cameron Hunter hits it out for Eastmark. Once again, Seton pulls closer. Timeout called by Coach Arrington. Seton coming into their huddle with a lot more excitement than they were the last time they called a huddle. And they're in a great position to overtake Eastmark here, take back the lead, and hopefully win their first set of the night. Thank you for joining me once again over here at Seton Catholic Preparatory. Sentinels versus Firebirds. We're in for a competitive one here tonight. Here we go, Steinkamp back for service. Well placed. Wheaton to Jackson. Over. Yaley returns. Shalapur. Steinkamp on the kill. Seton pulling ever closer in this one, now just trailing 1 point. Steinkamp. Bell, Shalapur, Keene goes for the kill. But is stuffed by Harwood. McKenna Jackson back to serve now for Eastmark. 18-20, Eastmark favor. Jackson, Yaley, Rylan Keene, and miscommunication on the front from Seton Catholic. Coach James Johnson will call a timeout here, regroup his ladies. They just built up a lot of steam. Hopefully they didn't let too much of it go right there. We'll be right back after this 1 minute timeout here on the home court of the Sentinels. Here we go, back to action. McKenna Jackson still back to serve. Jackson over. Yaley on the save. Wheaton pushes it over. Shalapur is there to Yaley, to Bell, to Fisher. Bell pokes it over and gets the kill. Bit of an awkward volley right there, but Seton gets the better of it, and they regain their momentum. Exactly what Coach James Johnson was looking for right there. Fia Fisher now back to serve. Fisher, service, no good. Fia Fisher out, Emily Yaley in. Harwood back for service. Good serve, Steinkamp hits it over, and Wheaton goes for the kill, but her arm hits the top of the net. Net violation on Wheaton in a crucial moment. So Seton picks up the point. Bell back to serve. Bell, good serve. Wheaton to Jackson, and once again, Isabella Jackson pulls a fast one. That's the third time she's pulled that exact same move here tonight, second time in this set. And with the dangerous outside hitters of Eastmark, Sentinels have to, crowd the front line. Gives her such an opportunity to just push it over. And Harwood picks up the kill right there for Eastmark. Once again, Eastmark pulls away 20-24. Sentinels looking to stop Addison Stanley's serve right here. Service is good. Yaley to Shalapur. Keene over. Harwood to Jackson. Wheaton. And a good attempt right there by Yaley, but no good. Eastmark picks off the second set. And now Seton in a crucial, critical position. They've got 3 minutes to regroup and try to win 3 straight. Competitive set right there once again, but after a little bit, towards the end of the game, Eastmark starts to just pull ahead. Seton had some momentum, but it wasn't enough to regain the lead. Now they find themselves down 2 sets. My name is Adam Perry. Once again, thank you for joining us here at the home of the Sentinels. After this quick break, we'll be right back to action for the third set. So here we go into the third set. Seton, having dropped both previous sets, is in a win or go home situation here. So here we go. Isabella Jackson, a huge difference maker for Eastmark, back to serve right now. She picks up the ace for the first point of this set. A miscommunication in the back row for the Sentinels. Let that ball just drop. Isabella Jackson once again on service. Keene, Shalapur, Fisher for the kill. That's exactly what the Sentinels needed right there. Shalapour now back for service. Shalapour. Service good. Wheaton to Jackson. To Harwood. Keene now. Shalapour. Steinkamp. And Sentinels pick up the point. Number 14 nudged into the net. Shalapour, service is good. To Pastor, to Jackson. Harwood over. Yaley to Shalapour. To Bell. Returned by Jackson. And this one will go and hit the pole. So Seton's point. Seton on a bit of a roll. Potentially their biggest lead of the night right here. Shalapour, service is good. Harwood hits it over. Yaley to Fisher. To Bell. Jackson, Pastor, Harwood. Keene returns. Shalapour and Bell can't quite get the spike over. Eastmark gets the ball back, but Sentinels have built up a good bit of momentum here. Pastor. Keene lays out. The return is no good into the visiting stands. 3-3 now. Pastor. Service is good. Keene returns. Shalapour over to Bell. Bell pokes it over. Isabella Jackson is there. Pastor. Addison Stanley. No good on the spike. Seton gets the ball. Elizabeth Steinkamp back to serve. Serve is good. Returned by Pastor to Jackson to Hunter. Steinkamp lays out. Trying to keep that volley alive, but can't do so. Eastmark gets it once again, and now it's Jackson. McKenna Jackson back to serve. Serve is good. An ace as Yaley cannot return. McKenna Jackson back to serve yet again. Service out. No good. Sentinels get the ball back. Out comes Yaley. In comes Michaela Bell. Madeline Bell, apologies. Joins her sister, Michaela Bell, on the front now. Fia Fisher back for service. And this one will fall out of play. Yaley back in. Harwood now back to serve for Eastmark. 5-6, Eastmark's favor right now. Keene, Shalapour, back to Keene, and picks up the kill. Subs coming in, Coaches and Sydney Stump. Sub out Bell and Shalapour. Coaches back to serve. 6-6 now. Coaches. Serve is good, but a good return by Addison Stanley, and a whole lot of miscommunication on Eastmark's side. Looks like some inter-squad turmoil over there. Addison Stanley can't return there. Went for a spike. No good. Coaches serving well right now. Coaches again. And Pastor cannot return. So a kill right there. And Coach Arrington will call timeout. And Seton has their biggest lead of the night. 9 to Eastmark's 6. This calls for Some alien dancing, and there they go. Right here in front of me, my alien extraterrestrial friends join us in this one. The Sentinel ladies looking good so far in this third set. And this break gives them a chance, and we've got the Flamingo. Welcome, Freddie. It's a party on the court here tonight. The ladies take the court now. After the timeout, Sentinels ball. Madeline Coaches still back to serve. Coaches service is out and over. 9-7 now, Sentinels still lead. Back for service, Addison Stanley. Gailey returns. Coaches to Keene. Stanley saves it. Jackson to Wheaton. Wheaton picks up the kill. 9-8. Eastmark slowly closing in. Addison Stanley back to serve. Yaley returns. Coaches. And Sydney Stump picks up the kill on the spike. Great to have some momentum back here on the Sentinel side. Ryland Keene back to serve. Keene, serve is good. Pastor returns. Jackson. Wheaton pops it over. Yaley, Coaches. Stump. Harwood, opposite side. Well hit. Keene, Coaches. Keene. And a wonderfully won point by Seton. Just overwhelmed Eastmark right there. Kept the pressure on. Kept the ball alive and did what they had to. That's a great point to win for Seton. More momentum is built. Keene, good serve. Jackson. Poked over by Jackson, and they pick up the point. Isabella Jackson stopping the momentum of the Sentinels once again here tonight. Back to serve is Wheaton. Kayla Wheaton. Keene returns. Coaches. Over by Bell. Wheaton, Harwood. Hunter. No good. Seton picks up the point. Yaley back to serve. Yaley service is good. Pastor to Jackson. Jackson pokes it over. Once again, Isabella Jackson is just a problem when she's near the net. She wins the point for Eastmark, and she's back to serve. Keene, Coaches, Fisher. Stuffed, kept alive by Eastmark. Kept alive by Keene. Now Steinkamp. Now Stump, Steinkamp again. This one's over, and Eastmark wins the point. Good attempt by Fia Fisher right there, but she was met at the net and stuffed. Good serve, returned by Yaley, poked over by Coaches. Over to Harwood. And Harwood picks up the point on the spike. Isabella Jackson back to serve. Service is returned by Keene. Stump, good hit. Pastor, Harwood pokes it over. Yaley's there. Coaches. Poked over by Keene. Pastor up and spiked down for the kill by Harwood. Timeout by Coach James Johnson here. Sentinels keeping this one very close. They lost the lead, but they're right in this thing. Down just 12 to Eastmark's 13. We'll take a quick break here and let the ladies refocus and take the court with passion. So here we go. Back to action. Isabella Jackson back to serve still. Jackson, Keene, Coaches. Fisher kept alive after the stuff. Coaches hits it over. Jackson over to Hunter. Hunter hits it out. Seton point. Coaches and Stump are out. Chalapur and Bell are in. Chalapur back to serve. Service is good. Wheaton, Jackson, Harwood. And Ryland Keene can't keep that one. Can't keep that one in play. And Eastmark picks up the point yet again. Pastor back to serve. Chalapur over to Bell. Spike kept alive. Yaley and Keene, a little miscommunication causes that ball to go flying out of bounds. Pastor back to serve. Service is good. Steinkamp, Chalapur. Poked over by Steinkamp, kept alive. Pastor, Harwood. Well hit. Sorry. Ball came to me. I had no idea what to do with it. Here we go. Returned by Yaley. Poked over by Fisher. And the kill from Seton. Apologies, from Eastmark. Seton struggling now. Eastmark pulling ahead. This is something that we've seen in all three sets. Seton keeps it close at the start, but slowly starts to fade. Steinkamp gets it over. The kill from Addison Stanley puts Eastmark up now 18 to Seton Catholic's 13. Time is called by Coach James Johnson. And the Sentinel ladies fighting to stay alive at this point. They trail by 5, but we've seen them go on runs, even here tonight, of more than 5 points. We'll see what they can string together after this quick break. Here we go. Back to action. Olivia Pastor back to serve for Eastmark. Service is good. Steinkamp. Shalapur. Over by Yaley. Kept alive. Jackson and the kill by Harwood. Eastmark pulls away. Now leading by 6 points. Pastor. Over. Steinkamp. Shalapur. And the kill by Steinkamp. Had some heat on it. Sentinel ball. For the first time in a while. Steinkamp. Service is good. Wheaton returns. Jackson. Harwood pokes it over. And picks up the kill. So now 14-20. Eastmark lead. Steinkamp comes out. Louise Hall comes in. Isabella Jackson back for service for Eastmark. Service good. Yaley returns. Shalapur sets it. Keene pokes it over. Just foul. Just out of play, barely. Eastmark will get the point. Isabella Jackson, returned by Yaley. Poked over by Bell. Pastor to Harwood. Returned by Hall. Shalapur. Bell pokes it over. Set by Jackson. Harwood blocked by Keene. Great volley here, kept alive by Shalapur. Yaley. Now Bell. Now Jackson. Jackson again. Now Harwood. Yaley. Shalapur. And Bell tries to be a little bit too perfect with it. Ends up hitting her own net. We go now 14-22, Eastmark favor. Isabella Jackson back to serve. Jackson. Service is good. Yaley gets it over. Poked over by Wheaton. Yaley now to Keene. Blocked. Yaley is there. Shalapur to Bell. Blocked. Bell is there. Shalapur is there. Now Yaley hits it over. That ball drops just out of bounds. So Eastmark continues to dominate. 23-14 now. Serve from Jackson is out. No. Serve is in play. So Eastmark keeps it. Now 24-14. This is set and game point. Keene up to Shalapur. Back to Keene. Keene gets it over. Seton stays alive. And Seton keeps the ball. Yaley out. Fia Fisher out. In comes Addison Morris. And Madeline Bell. Morris, service good. Jackson, Pastor, Harwood. And that'll be the game. So a 3-set sweep here for the Eastmark Firebirds. Unfortunately, Seton Catholic could not show up and take home the victory here tonight. It was a competitive matchup, but some of the key difference makers, Olivia Pastor, Isabella Jackson, Kayla Wheaton, and Brooke Harwood for Eastmark. Some small technical issues plagued Seton to start the game. In the first and second set, we saw a couple net violations and other violations against Seton, which really, drained their momentum, drained their energy, and left them with not a whole lot. They were almost playing against themselves out there for a little while. And Eastmark capitalizes and takes this one home, 3-0. I'm Adam Perry. Thank you for joining us on this broadcast here at Seton Catholic High School. Next time, that you'll see the Seton Catholic ladies here at home will be on the 26th against Saguaro. But the ladies play again in 2 days on Wednesday over in Arcadia for an away game. They've dropped 3 in a row now. They've got some introspection to do, but I know these ladies are capable of competing, capable of winning games as well. It's just a matter of when they find how to turn it on. Once again, thank you very much for joining this broadcast today. God bless.